Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about. My goodness, today has been very, very interesting. Hit subscribe to my super chat. Thank you so very much. It's pretty unbelievable. Like I stated in my last segment, Trump can fire Mueller because of this. So he can simply fire Mueller. You could simply go ahead and say, look, Rod Rosenstein wanted to tape me. He was insubordinate. He had no reason to tape. You started an FBI criminal investigation based on a Steele dossier. Fair play is fair play. It's fair is fair. And we're just going to go ahead and use gossip and hearsay the way you utilize gossip and hearsay. So that's it. And if you didn't get notification for this, please go ahead and share this segment everywhere. But exactly, Juan Rodriguez, you're 100% correct. Fire everyone. Let's see the Democrats. The outrage meter is already at 12, 13. It only goes up to 10. It's like Spinal Tap. Every day is like Spinal Tap with these Democrats. Fire Rod Rosenstein. That's all Trump needs to do. He was not only insubordinate. Well, let's put it this way. If the New York Times isn't fake news, so the Democrats say, oh my God, the media, you're calling the media the enemy. The analysis is usually completely flawed. Trump never worked with Russia. There should never have been an investigation. Hillary Clinton actually did commit crimes. Major crimes. Her server was hacked by China. All the top secret and special access program intelligence is now in the government, with the government of China. I don't even blame China. I blame Clinton. But again, fire Mueller by firing Rod Rosenstein. You now have the perfect, and the funny thing is, this is crazy. Just today on YouTube, I saw a commercial defending Rosenstein. And it was like all the clips talking about Republicans saying how much they love Rosenstein. Now, it's kind of irrelevant because if you find out something about somebody, it doesn't matter if you once said, oh, they're so great. We didn't know that Rod Rosenstein was integral in going ahead and signing off on FISA warrants he never read. We didn't know all these things. So all you have to do right now, and I really think that Trump should fire Rosenstein. I really, really think that he should do that right now on Monday. And you know what? Rosenstein wants to go ahead and battle it. Let him battle it. Let him battle it. And we'll find out how he was a part of Trump Russia. It's really interesting because Trump right now holds all the cards. He has all the power. Now, after midterms, Democrats are not going to win midterm. They're not going to win the House. The Senate, they're definitely not going to win. We're going to gain seats in the Senate. Republicans I'm not even a Republican, but you know what I mean. When I say we, I mean I'm for Trump. The Republican Party, I don't care about. I don't care about the Republican Party. I don't care about political parties. Trump is a once-in-a-lifetime figure. He's battling the same media that undermined Bernie Sanders and attacked him. The only difference is that Bernie doesn't have the power or the inclination or the will to fight back against either the media or the DNC. Trump is fighting the Democratic Party. He's fighting the media. And at this point right now, when you have somebody, first of all of this started, the New York Times published an article saying that there's an anonymous person that wants to that is protecting the country by removing things from Trump's desk. By the way, let me just plug this. So I'm not going ahead and there's an anonymous person in Trump's administration who's part of the resistance. Okay, that person should be fired. But you know what? That didn't work out because they wanted to trap Trump. They wanted to go ahead and trap him and say, "Oh, well, you know what? Why don't you find out who it is?" Then the media can say Trump can't find, ha ha ha, Trump couldn't find. You can't find who is undermining you. And even under your own nose, you can't find the person, ha ha ha. Catch me if you can. So that is bizarre. Like, where was that anonymous person to help us from with Obama during Standing Rock or when he was destroying Libya? Where were these anonymous, righteous, wonderful people? They were nowhere to be found. That's because Obama demanded loyalty, and he got loyalty. He got so much loyalty from people like Loretta Lynch, who met with Bill Clinton. The biggest conflict of interest. This is how sick and twisted everything is. You have an Obama administration that oversees the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity to Russia. And then Trump is getting investigated. Trump is being investigated because of a fake news dossier that even BuzzFeed, after it published, not only is getting sued, but is suing the DNC. So this is a real big problem, but Trump has everything. He's running the show now. So Trump runs the show. He can dictate what takes place. Democrats think that if he fires Mueller, that would help them in midterms. It won't. People are not going to be driven to the polls simply. The whole concept of Mueller and Russia collusion and trying, they just want to check. They want an extrajudicial, even though it's sanctioned by the country, an extrajudicial check on Trump. The Mueller probe is illegal. There is no basis for it. It was based on memos that were leaked by Comey. And the Russia investigation should never have taken place. We learned that yesterday. So Lisa Page and the new text messages, new emails already state that Peter Strzok and all of them had no evidence. They had no evidence to start any investigation, yet they did. They had no evidence to start any investigation, yet they still did, because Hillary Clinton actually committed so many crimes. They had to make everything relative. That's okay. Democrats just want power. They just want power. They don't care. They don't care if, they just don't care. They don't care, and they're rapidly, their power is dwindling rapidly from them. Dwindling rapidly. I went ahead, and I'm not going to go ahead and dwell on it too much right now. I've spoken about it my last two segments. They say that there's 37 toss-ups, or nine Democratic-leaning Republican-held seats in the House, and 28 GOP toss-ups. From that, just giving 11 wins, by the way, to Democrats on congressional races where the Republican did not get primaried, on congressional races where the Republican actually didn't have a challenger, so I didn't see how many people actually went out to vote for the Republican incumbent, I gave automatically the Democrat the win. So, and I still only could find 22 wins based on the primary turnout. There are seats that have no business. Cook Political Report, and it's not just the Cook Political Report, it's all of these, like the posters, like they have no business putting a whole bunch, like there are seats in California where Mimi Walters, one of the, here's an example of what's considered a toss-up, by the way. Okay, I just want to show you when you see, and this is why Democrats are pulling out all the stops, because they're going to lose. And I've gone through each and every one of the 37 toss-ups, and I'm telling you, if I just give away wins, they get 22, they don't get 23. I'm talking about giving away 11 wins. Not even bothering. Just saying, yeah, the incumbent will lose. I didn't see a primary for the incumbent. Oh, he'll lose or she'll lose. They are petrified. And the only thing they have is gaslighting themselves. Oh my God, the enthusiasm's so high. There's no enthusiasm. There's zero enthusiasm. And they don't want Rod Rosenstein fired. They don't want Mueller fired because if they don't have Mueller, then they have to go up against Trump just through value system and policies, and they can't do that. They have no value system. The Democratic Party is a neoconservative foreign policy. Americans like Trump's foreign policy better. The Democratic Party has no real health care plan. They pretend they like Medicare for All, but they don't really. They just, they like the Affordable Care Act. They don't really want Medicare for All. They're utilizing progressives to go ahead and pump that story. Once they lose, they'll never again in their lives bring up Medicare for All. That'll be done. And all the people generally in the ether who are telling you, generally, not all, but generally, the people who are telling you Medicare for All, you won't hear from them again regarding that issue. The people who told you to vote for Hillary Clinton, who are now saying Medicare for All, they won't bring that up after the midterms. It's a losing proposition. They're going to lose. Democrats, like I told you, and this is why it's on. I know I'm obsessive and I'm obsessed with this, but yesterday I went ahead and when I say that, understand, I'm not talking about good people. I'm not talking about like good, honest, like people on the left who really want Medicare for All. I'm not even talking about the morality of it, because I used to be for it. But what they did was they picked one issue. Bernie Sanders had a whole bunch of issues on the left to change the system. If he was cheated, that didn't work out. I was going to pick the less militant. I'm picking now the less militant. I mean, peace between North and South Korea, hyper partisan. There's not even a semblance of objectivity. But when I talk about Medicare for All, I'm not talking against people who are good people who want it. I'm talking against the Democratic Party who doesn't want it, but claims to want it and will never bring it up again. And all the little subsidiary public relations firms. I won't get into naming them, but we all know who they are. Mimi Walters is a congresswoman. She's fantastic, by the way. She's Republican. The Cook Political Report has her as a toss-up. Okay, the Democratic challenger, Katie Porter, got 23,000 votes. All right. Mimi Walters got 62,863 votes in the midterms. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a toss-up, for example. This is a toss-up seat. I'm going to reiterate this again because I'm obsessed with this, and it's important. It's important because I went through each and every one of the 37 yesterday, and I keep running my mouth, and I say, I probably should go ahead and back it up further. I was worried, by the way. I swear I was worried. I was like, oh no. Because if I reach 23, I would have to say every single episode, every single segment, well, there's a way for Democrats to win. There's a way for Democrats to get 23. I went through every single one of the 37 toss-ups that they say toss-ups. Now, they list GOP Mimi Walters, Republican Mimi Walters in California's 45th district, got 62,863 people. She's a great congresswoman. She's like, the community there loves her because they showed up 62,000. Her challenger got 23,851 people, the Democrat, in the primary. I don't care if you add up. It's still, like, if you add up all the other Democratic challengers, they still add up to 40,000. What's 62 minus 40? So you're still 20 plus less, 20,000 less people. What I'm trying to say is, why would this be a toss-up? It makes no sense. It makes no sense when you've already had an election before the election. The primaries were, in a sense, an election before the election. And I love how no emphasis is given on primary turnout. Now, what they say is, our turnout's higher. But Democrats, if you give them a turd sandwich, they'll remark on how wonderful the gluten-free bread tastes. Democrats will find a silver lining in the worst possible thing. I'm not against everything I was once for. What I am against is the Democratic Party utilizing the hopes and dreams of people. I asked how it was paid if the Mercatus study came out, and I never really spoke out against Medicare for All until the Mercatus study came out. And it was the only study that said even over doubling taxes. Now, I would like to, I'm not against, that's not over doubling taxes, tripling taxes, not going to work out. So it'll never, ever, ever happen if that's the case. And the rebuttal from like Jamal Thomas, who's my friend, I think he's great, progressive soapbox, was, oh, well, I'm utilizing, bad, horrible numbers because the Mercatus study is a Koch brothers. But it was cited by Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie. And Bernie Sanders has numbers on his website. It's like somebody just plastered it on a blog post. There's nothing backing up his numbers. There are no economists. There's just nothing. He just said, oh yeah, you'll pay for it with $1.3 trillion every year. We already spend $1.4 trillion on 44 million Americans. How do you go from 44 million Americans in Medicare to 320 million? That's a question I asked. It's not like I'm against everything I was once for. My thing is, I was for 100% a less militant foreign policy. That's why I wrote about Rand Paul, and Democrats and liberals went, oh my God, look at this guy's crazy. That's why I loved Bernie so much, because he represented a massive sea change within the Democratic Party in terms of foreign policy. I get that with Trump. Peace between North and South Korea is a great thing. So I'm not dissing like people who want Medicare for all. I think it's a noble endeavor. I don't think it's financially feasible, especially because the Mercatus study is like a study that came out. So even if they say, well, it's not doubling. Well, you can't, where's the increase? Progressive Soapbox said, well, look at Bernie's page. Yeah, there's still not enough money. $32 trillion, or even the federal budget. You can't go from 1.4 to 1.3, which is what Bernie says, out of a $4 trillion budget per year. And then say, oh, well, we'll go from 44 million right now, by the way, with $7,600 copay. I'm sorry, not out of pocket. Medicare is not free. I want also somebody who fights. I don't want somebody who capitulates within 2 seconds, folds like a cheap suit. Bernie, in like 2 seconds, a split second, found out he was cheated. And he didn't, I'm not saying don't go to the convention, fine. But how about represent for your voters? How about saying, you know what, not going to campaign for you. Sorry, you cheated me. Sorry, you actually cheated me. Then there's a picture of them holding hands. They still lost. What do you get for it? They're going to lose again in the midterms. And when they do, I'll be vindicated again, as I've always been vindicated. But I'm not dissing anyone in particular. I'm not against everything. Neither party wants to break up too big to fail banks. So it's not like I want to break up too big to fail. But see, that's the thing. Democrats don't talk about that. They talk about one issue because it was sanctioned by Debbie Wasserman. Because Hillary and Debbie and all of them know they're not really serious. Nancy Pelosi doesn't talk about Medicare for All, neither does Chuck Schumer. Well, how on earth is the Democratic Party going to go there? But I mean, no, my thing is, I loved Bernie primarily because of his foreign policy, because he wanted to end quagmires. So does Trump. And now I get all the corrupt FBI officials exposed. I get the horrendous intelligence community that is undermining our democracy. Not Russia didn't. I get peace between North and South Korea, great economy, a lot of good things. 320,000 manufacturing jobs. That's what Bernie was talking about. Agent Pepsi, Dems propaganda machine. The MSM will spew lies to further their twisted ideology. Dem coup against Trump continues. Thank God I woke up in 2009. Agent Pepsi, you're 100% right. The Dem coup, there is a coup. It's a media-driven coup. I don't want people to think that I'm against everything I once, wanted. The main thing is that I've always stated this, for people on the left, I'm not on the left anymore, but you can disagree with me. The biggest enemy is the Democratic Party, not Trump. Like, Trump is the friend. In my view, Trump's the friend of the left. It's the identity politics. It's the Russia did it people. It's the I'm with her cult. It's the, I remember when Vox was going after Bernie Sanders. I remember when the Washington Post was going after Bernie Sanders. I remember when the Democratic establishment was saying that a socialist could not win. Now they love socialism. But I never liked Bernie because he was a socialist. I never even viewed him as such. I mean, the labels and if I can't get a paradigm change with Bernie Sanders, which obviously I couldn't, and the hashtag Bernie would have won vindicates everything I was talking about forever. I stated Clinton is unelectable in 2015. Then I'd much rather have a paradigm shift with Trump. In fact, I respect Trump a lot more than I do Bernie Sanders. A lot more. Because Trump goes after the people who hurt him. Bernie Sanders hugs the people who hurt him. Bernie Sanders embraces, says, thank you for hurting me. Thank you so much. Gee, thank you so very much for hurting me, for cheating me, for lying to me. Let me help you. Let me help you after you've taken $200 million, hard-earned money from people. That's why I respect Jared Beck, Elizabeth Beck, Nico House so much. They fought back. They fought back. Most of the left would not talk about the DNC fraud lawsuit. There are people who did. That's why last night I said, hey, you know what? Is my optimism rooted in, important figures and numbers? And it is. It is. Rhonda, Iowa girl, the socialists seem low IQ for some reason. Is that a requirement? There's a lot of good people on the left, Rhonda, but the thing is they don't want to answer questions. I noticed that. And if you give them a number they don't like, they'll say, oh, the Mercatus study is a Koch brothers study. Then you say, well, Bernie touted it. Oh, well, you know what? He touted the good parts. Yeah, but to get to the good parts, you have to over doubling income, personal income, and corporate would be insufficient. So they say, oh, okay, well, And there's always a rebuttal. It's, oh, Rhonda, Iowa girl, the left is rooted on moral, a foundation that they're more moral than the right. When in reality, they're not. They're not. It's not about, they think that, a lot of the left thinks that they're more moral. That's the issue. But in their quest to be more moral, they end up cheating each other, attacking each other, all of these things. I got more hate when I was on the left, a lot more hate than I ever did, as I actually don't get any hate. I only get love from people. And it's so wonderful. Rhonda, Iowa girl, thank you. CMJ3, the left-right paradigm needs to be dropped by your average American voter. It's divisive and unnecessary. Oh, I agree. I mean, I only want Republicans to just sweep primarily because of Trump. Only because of Trump, really. Not because of anything else. Not because of because also Democrats need to. They can't be, you cannot reward the behavior, the insanity. I mean, this all stems from, and this is another thing. Bernie Sanders reiterated. He reiterated and advocated the Russian hacking myth that implicates Bernie Sanders and Jill Stein as part of a Russian plot to take votes away from Hillary Clinton. It's so stupid. And instead of simply saying no, he says, oh, we're going to go ahead. They're not going to win Florida. DeSantis is going to win Florida as governor. All right. Not that I have nothing against Andrew Gillum. I'm just saying it's a Trump state. So it's a Trump state. And DeSantis got 400,000 more votes. So let's see. How many thousand more votes did DeSantis get? That's why I don't get these. The polls are stupid. You should simply look at primary turnout. And just because Democrats are turning out more doesn't mean that in individual races, they've only won 2 out of 10. They're 2 and 8. Republicans are 8 and 2. They're getting swept in special elections. But I want to go ahead and I want to see, for example, again, I'm not dissing anyone. I'm just saying, get ready for the backlash because Democrats are going to implode. There's a party on this channel. Be here for the party. It's going to be epic and glorious. But here, Andrew Gillum got 517,000 votes. Do you know who defeated him? Not only DeSantis, Adam Putnam, who was the second Republican, who was the second runner-up in the Republican primary in Florida. The runner-up in the Republican primary defeated Gillum in terms of votes. How on earth is Andrew Gillum going to win when he got 517,000 votes? Well, you say, but Gwen Graham and Philip Levine, yeah, but how do you know every single one of those? Because Graham and Levine are more corporate Democrat, centrist. Gillum is the Bernie. So what happens if every Bernie candidate gets decimated? Almost every Bernie candidate is going to get decimated, aside from Ocasio-Cortez, who didn't run against a Republican. And I'm not dissing. I'm saying I knew this would happen, and I told everyone this would happen. You don't go ahead and make a deal with the devil. Democratic Party used Bernie simply because its lifeblood is corruption. So they had to inject some kind of fake enthusiasm. How can you have an enthusiastic? So Andrew Gillum, 517,000 votes. 863,000 votes. Ron DeSantis got 913,997 votes. That's 400,000 more votes. That's basically the difference between Andrew Cuomo and Cynthia Nixon. yet another progressive candidate that got decimated. Now, the progressive movement, when I was on there, never listened to me. They never fought back. But I'm not even part of it. They never listened to me anyway. And most people, I think, wanted me out anyway. Not that I was really this, big, important thing. I wasn't at all. I'm just saying I was a voice. They didn't listen. And they're going to get, once again, obliterated. But this time they're going to kick Bernie out of the whole. You won't see a lot of Bernie anymore because they're going to turn on him. So it's like, they're like, oh, Andrew Gillum can win. No, he's not going to win. He's not going to win. The Senate, you're going to have Rick Scott win the Senate. That's another thing. Rick Scott's going to win Florida. How on earth can you have Rick Scott win? And it's on the same ballot, and you had 1,452,952 people show up to vote for Rick Scott. Bill Nelson ran unopposed. But you're going to get turnout. Same in California with John Cox. You're going to get turnout. So all of this relates big time to what we're talking about. Lum, I am always a supporter. I am late. Any chance at a sum up of what happened with it? Of course. Lum, this is what happened. Today, the New York Times went ahead and wrote a report that said, Rod Rosenstein wanted to secretly tape Trump and, invoke the 25th Amendment to remove him from office. If that sounds crazy, Lum, because it is crazy, because Rod Rosenstein is essentially working for Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Essentially. They all are. The whole thing is the Democratic Party has embedded itself within the media and also within Trump's campaign, or Trump's, because they went ahead and spied on him based on a fake news dossier. The whole thing's ridiculous. You couldn't even fire somebody based on a compilation of gossip. So basically, that's what happened. Now, if you fire Rod Rosenstein, if Trump fires Rod Rosenstein, he can go ahead, and people want him to fire Rod Rosenstein. He can go ahead and fire Mueller, because Rosenstein oversees Mueller. Lum, thank you. CMJ3, in light of all the political chaos that has happened since Trump got elected, I believe the swamp has inadvertently created a hardcore centrist party. Yeah, for the Democratic Party, yeah. I mean, everything that they want, it's almost like the opposite takes place. But I think that he should fire Rosenstein Monday. I mean, they went ahead and investigated him based on a dossier without any corroboration. So just go ahead and do the same thing. They just care about power. That's the main thing. They don't really care about anything else. They care about just power. There's no value system. They're not running on any legislation. What legislation are Democrats running on? They're not. The whole thing is, well, you know what? Let's just by any means possible, let's just try to go ahead and hurt Trump. Whatever we can do. Even if we can't prove it, whatever we can do, let's hurt Trump. Whatever we can do. And it still doesn't work. But there's not going to be a blue wave. In addition to So I looked at all 37. I won't go through it this segment, but I went through it the past couple segments. But of the 37, I only counted 22 wins, with like a whole bunch of GOP wins where it's like, how could they even go ahead? And these are all incumbent Republicans. So they need a net gain of 23 seats. But, and they only, so, and also the interesting thing is the average midterm House loss, this is Real Clear Politics, for sitting president's party is 22 seats. They need 23. Okay, that's Real Clear Politics. They also raised $250 million. $250 million. And the Democrats have $116 million. So that's yet another. I mean, if you have an over 2-to-1 money advantage with, when you were talking about 530 races, 535 races, Congress, that's a huge advantage. A huge advantage. An enormous advantage. Trump has a historic popularity within the Republican Party, 85 to 90%. That's higher than JFK. For the 500-day mark, he had an 87% approval rating within the Republican Party. That's higher than JFK and Eisenhower. So RNC enters the summer with double the DNC's monthly fundraising haul. The DNC is a failed, virtually bankrupt organization. They have almost as much debt as they do cash. Rhonda, Iowa girl, Trump needs to remain calm. No mean tweeting from now in midterms. My inclination was that. I think my inclination is towards what you just stated, Rhonda, Iowa girl. But I would also say that it depends on the mean tweets. Like, for example, he should talk about Pelosi every day. But I do agree with you. Nothing too egregious, but he should go ahead and needle them all the time. Like, he should simply go ahead and put that Chris Matthews, Lisa Lister. Who's the guy on your wall that looks like Lyle Lovett? This is George Orwell. So you have George Orwell, John Belushi, and Churchill. George Orwell is my favorite author. Lisa Lister, thank you. I'm trying to think what I know the name Lyle Lovett, but this is what Democrats, this is a microcosm of the Democratic Party. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess he does kind of look like Lyle Lovett. This is a microcosm of the Democratic Party, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. This is a microcosm right here. Right here. Hold on one second. Danny O'Connor, Chris Matthews. If you watch this channel, you already know where I'm going. You know my spiel, but I got to do it. I got to be me. Hey, he's in Missouri. Is he in Missouri? Trump is awesome. He in Missouri? Yep, he's in Missouri. That's awesome. All right, so let's go ahead really quickly. So and he lost to Troy Balderson in Ohio. And then they were literally saying, and I'm not joking, I think it was Alyssa Milano who said it might have been Russian influence that people voted for the Green Party. And I'm just kind of waiting for November 6th because it's going to be a party. An absolute amazing party. So hold on one second. Watch this. Listen to this. Okay, you know my spiel. I just had lunch, so I'm like kind of in a food coma. But check this out. Oh, Lord.
Investigations. Okay, you don't want to deal with it. Okay, what about Nancy Pelosi? The first vote you have to cast when you become a member of Congress is to vote for the leader of your party that's nominated for Speaker. Who are you going to vote for Speaker? I don't know who's going to run, but I
don't know who's going to run. It could be the Tooth Fairy. It could be the Yeti. It could be the Yeti and his you-know-what. You know. Or a mushroom. Or the Yeti. It could be anything. It could be one of H.A. Goodman's Churchill bobbleheads. It could be anyone. I have no idea who's running, Chris. Don't be stupid. I have no idea who's running. No Sickle J. No Sickle J. Witness said Rosenstein was just joking about secretly recording Trump. Give me a minute to laugh that one. Give me a minute to laugh that one. That's actually funny, No Sickle J. Yeah. Yeah. He was just joking. Let's remove Trump. Let's stop him. Just joking. What a nice joke. These people, like, they have no shame. There's no shame in their game. There's no Sickle J. There's no shame in their game. There's no shame in their game. That's I'm preaching the gospel of, I don't know what. Obliterate Dems. Okay.
Pelosi's running for re-election. We need change.
We need change. We need change. Don't ask me again.
Need change on both. So you're not voting for Pelosi? No.
No. At 18 seconds in, the guy says no. A man is only as good as his word. Well, let's see how many seconds it takes for Danny O'Connor to change his mind.
How are you going to help the Democrats?
And Chris Matthews, the Democratic warhorse, he just doesn't stop. He just doesn't stop. He just keeps on attacking. It just goes on and it doesn't stop. Make it stop. He won't.
Democrats get the 218 they need to win the House. You have to be one of the votes. Yeah, so what are you going to do? If you're one of the 218, they need to take control of the House. And the vote on the floor is Pelosi. What are you going to do? We need to.
So he just, nobody likes Pelosi, even the Democrats. They're not going to, I did the numbers of the 37. I did the numbers. The best they get is 22. The best they get is 22. That's the best they get. The best they get is 22. The best they get. Okay? Okay? The best they get. Which would be hilarious. He lose, but then they'd be like, we can still impeach him. We can get some Republicans to vote on impeachment. Then you'd have to hear that. It's still, though, they still wouldn't be. You would still have a Speaker of the House that's Republican.
Leadership on both sides. So you vote against her, even if it meant you didn't get control of the House. We need leadership. And you don't get control of the House.
We need leadership on both sides. Stop it. Stop it. Please. I don't want to have to say Nancy Pelosi.
Well, we need to. If it's a decisive vote, would you vote against Pelosi? If it's decisive, we need new leadership.
We need new leadership.
You know you have to decide this. Just tell me you know you have to decide it. No, but we need new leadership. No, just tell me you know. The old ways aren't working. No.
The old ways aren't working. The check's in the mail.
You know that for the Democrats can get control, you have to have 218 members of the House vote for the candidate of the Democratic Party for Speaker. I would support whoever the Democratic Party. Thank you. Danny?
I would support. So it took him less than a minute to go against his word. How on earth are you going to vote for a guy or a woman, a man or a woman? It takes 1 minute. 1 minute to go from one extreme to the other. He went from Danny O'Connor in Ohio. Danny O'Connor in Ohio went from I'm not voting for Pelosi in at 18 seconds in to I'll vote for her. That's why, I mean, you have also like I'm looking in Pennsylvania. I gave Connor Lamb the win. Okay, but this guy Keith Rothfuss, you want to hear this guy? This guy's like an old school Republican. He's going up against Connor Lamb, who won. I just gave Democrats the win in this. Like I gave them 11 wins without even looking. I just gave it to them if the person wasn't primaried. If the Republican incumbent did not have a primary. So I couldn't gauge how many people went out to vote. I think the primary turnout is far more important than polls. Especially if you have turnout that's like 20, 30,000 more than your challenger. It's like ridiculous. You don't even need to look at polls then. But I mean, you need to look at polls, but it's not nearly as important as turnout for the primary. But anyway, so Connor Lamb, he won, and it used to be 24 seats. Now, I don't know if this guy, Keith Rothfuss, I think he could win. Okay, he's down in the polls by like 10. But I just gave Democrats the win. But look at this guy. You gotta check this guy out. So this is his. Oh my God, this is so great. This is so great. So hold on. This is the so like Connor Lamb went ahead and voted for some kind of scientific budget, like some kind of study on mice or whatever. Okay. So that's where it's this is hilarious. So check this out. This is so funny. Oh my God. Why is this taking forever? Oh my God, it's taking forever. Okay, this is like old school attack ad. Rhonda, Iowa girl, judiciary says it's subpoenaing memos about nice. Very nice. I apologize. I'm like, I'm just so focused on midterms. Because I know that Democrats are going to lose again. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. Hold on, let's see. Judiciary. Thank you, Rhonda, Iowa girl, as always. Now Tom Fitton, Rod Rosenstein want to remove Trump. Wow. Just fire the guy. Like, just show us what you got. Fire him already. John E.M., this is all Clinton's thing. Like, everything we see is Clinton's thing. It's just, the Democratic apparatus. This is what Connor Lamb, he wasn't facing this when he barely beat Rick Saccone in Pennsylvania. So he's not going to have the luxury of MSNBC and everybody helping him out. So this is interesting. Listen to this hilarious ad.
Connor Lamb protecting.
Who's Connor Lamb protecting? He obviously likes bad things. He's going to vote for bad things, paid for by the Society for Good Things. But this is like, like What was that movie with Will Ferrell? Hilarious movie. But okay, so here's the attack ad that his Republic. I gave him the win, by the way, in this model that you want to call it a model. This, my projections. I gave Connor Lamb the win, but Keith Rothfuss could actually win that easily. But anyway.
Who's Connor Lamb protecting? Not seniors. Lamb supports a program that took billions from Medicare, not the sick. Lamb wants to keep higher taxes on prescriptions and insurance, not families. Lamb voted to protect criminals hiding in sanctuary cities.
What?
Who is Connor Lamb protecting? A mouse. Lamb voted to spend
mouse?
tax dollars protecting mice. Seriously. Protecting us. Keith Rothfuss for Congress.
I'm Keith Rothfuss, and I approve this message.
Yes, they asked Keith. They asked Keith Rothfuss. First of all, he's already an incumbent, but they redistricted. They gerrymandered. Well, it was redistricted, and it's still like up like 2% for Trump, the area. But it's a new district entirely. So the district doesn't have a sitting representative. Rothfuss is already in Congress, so he has all the disposals at his advantage. He's been in that area of Pennsylvania, even though it's technically a new district. It's still part of his old district. But he's behind 10 in the polls, and he's like, I don't care. He doesn't care because he has pretty much home field advantage. But you got to hear this again. This is so great. Old School. Yeah, that's the movie. Oh, New York Times. Sorry, Rhonda Iowa girl. Hold on, New York Times. Trying to find judiciary. Sources: Rod Rosenstein discussed secretly taping Trump, CNN. Sources were afraid to talk. Rod Rosenstein suggested secretly taping. I'm trying to find Judiciary Committee, but it's not. The New York Times story is okay. Oh, okay. And now it's NBC News. Gaslight. Now it's, Rod Rosenstein joked about secretly recording Trump. It was just a joke. No Sickle J, it was just a joke. Rhonda Iowa girl, it's just a joke. He didn't mean it. Well, if he didn't mean it, why are we even talking about it? All he did was sign off on FISA warrants without reading them. The Atlantic. Who stands to benefit from the new leak about Rod Rosenstein? Even the liberal media is like, well, what's going on here? Does it help us? It makes Trump look bad, right? Tell me it makes Trump look bad. Well, no, it kind of helps us, but really, really hurts us. Oh, no. So difficult spending your whole life trying to depose and form a coup and hate Trump. We just don't know where to turn. We've hated him so much. He signed a FISA as a joke. He's like, exactly. Ebenezer Adams. I'm sorry, I missed you last time. Ebenezer Adams. Yeah, I'm going to change my mind because of a Hollywood idiot. So it's like my lamp telling me how to vote. Do these people have any idea how irrelevant they are when juxtaposed to reality? Ebenezer Adams You said it better than I ever did. You said it better than I ever did. This is the thing, Ebenezer Adams. This is the thing. They're petrified that they can't control you or me or the 513 people watching. They're petrified. They already know that they failed to stop Trump in 2016. Their playbook is hate, deceive, hate, spread as much misinformation as possible, and then back it up by John Brennan, who is like the biggest liar on the planet. I don't even know who's more of a liar, Brennan or Comey. I have no idea. Maybe Brennan. Ebenezer Adams, thank you so very much. Mr. Thank you, Mr. Hello, good person. Brooke, Shabbat Shalom. That is all. Brooke, thank you so very much. Shabbat Shalom to you. And that's Hebrew for good Sabbath. So thank you, Brooke. Thank you so very much, Brooke. Thank you. Mr. Hello, good person. And goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Good person. That's right. Can't say Goodman. Mr. Thank you. So I just find this hilarious, though. I mean, Rhonda, Iowa girl, yeah, who knows? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Either Brennan or Comey. They both. Who knows? Rhonda, Iowa girl, thank you so much. Joseph Arbuckled, awesome. Okay, so here, let's just hear this again. Who's Connor Lamb protecting?
Who's Connor Lamb protecting? Not seniors. Lamb supports a program that took billions from Medicare.
What?
Not the sick.
Yeah.
Lamb wants to keep higher taxes
Doesn't like
on
the sick?
prescriptions and insurance. Not families. Lamb voted to protect criminals hiding in sanctuary cities. Who is Connor Lamb protecting?
Who is he?
A mouse.
A mouse?
Lamb voted to spend tax dollars protecting mice.
What?
Seriously.
Mice?
Protecting us, Keith Rothfuss, for Congress.
I'm Keith Rothfuss, and I approve this message.
Yeah, Keith Rothfuss, baby. Yeah. A mouse? How can you win the district if you voted to protect a mouse? Anyway, I gave Connor Lamb the win there. So Rhonda, Iowa girl. Mark Levin believes the article is a setup. I think it could be, gosh. Now you, Rhonda, Iowa girl, now you're making me think in overdrive. Little hamster in my brain is like, it could be a setup. Either way, it doesn't matter because the outrage meter only lasts 3 to 4 or 5 days. So you have an outrage meter. You have like a cycle, a media cycle that only is like 3 or 4 days or so. So, if he fires Rosenstein, he's going to have to immediately fire Mueller, or no, as long as his number 2 is there after the midterms. So. But outrage. Notice how we're not talking about the anonymous author anymore. Every day, it's yet another thing. It's a new, Ellen Cox, you're 100% right. It's a new crisis every 3 to 4 days. And what's going to happen is it's going to short circuit because Democrats are going to lose. I'm telling you, I did the numbers. I looked at all 37. The best they get is 22. The best they get is 22. And that would be a 59%. So they win 60% of their races. 60% of the contests. 60%. 59 point, whatever. I'll just say 60%. And that's with me giving them. There's 37 danger zones for Republicans, toss-ups, whatever. Okay? We have a great economy. We have manufacturing jobs coming back. We have a very popular Republican president. We have people hating the media, hating the Democratic Party, the majority of the country. And that's with me giving them wins, by the way. That's 60%. I told you, I did. You can look back at the last two. I looked at every single race, every single contest of the 37, every single one. You want me to do it now? I'm going to do it now again. I'll do it right now, real quick, okay? Okay, I'll do it right now. How's that? Bobby Sprinkle. Rusty job is... Bobby Sprinkle. Bobby. Thank you so much, Bobby Sprinkle. Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. All right, I'm going to do this right now, okay? Okay? My energy level is depleting. I have the energy level of Nancy Pelosi. We're going to look at Nancy Pelosi. We're going to look at the taxes and raise them. Then you'll vote for us. All right, so must pick up energy. Cook Political Report, 37 seats. Okay. Nine GOP Republican incumbent districts leaning Democrat. Okay, so Arizona 2, I gave Democrats the win there. They're not going to get Darrell Issa's seat. So that's stupid. Okay, so Diane Harkey's going to win there. She had what, almost 12,000 more votes in the primary. She's going to win there. Iowa 1, Minnesota 2, Minnesota 3. The Republicans weren't primaried. So I just gave the Democrats the win. 2, 3, 4. That's 4 seat net gain. New Jersey 11, Democrats win that. Okay. All right. Pennsylvania 7, I gave Democrats the win there. 6 wins. Now, this is the Rothfuss versus Connor. Connor Lamb likes really bad things. Why would you vote for him? He protected mice. I gave Dems the win there. That's the 7th win of the 37. Okay. Sorry, Virginia 10's not going to go. I think that Barbara Comstock's going to win. 6,000 more votes. I'm giving it to the Republican. Okay. In the primaries. So, okay, that's 7. So of the 9, 7 and 2. Democrats are 7 and 2. I mean, that's a pretty good. That's almost what the Republicans did for the special elections, which destroyed Democrats. Okay, so hold on one second. Gosh. Okay, so the Republican toss-ups, 28. So they now have 7 wins. Okay, taking into account the Cook Political Report, GOP incumbent Democratic leaning districts. They now have 7 wins. Now let's get to the 28. California 10, the Democrats are not going to win that one. I don't care what people say. Jeff Dunham got 35,000 people to vote for him in the primary. His opponent got 15,000. How is this even possible? Makes no sense. But anyway, California 10, California 25, Republicans going to win. California 39, Young Kim is going to win in California 39. California 45. I mean, this is what, like, it's insanity. Mimi Walters, the Republican, got 62,000 people to show up. Katie Porter, her challenger, got 23,000 to vote for her. How does that make any sense? Makes no sense. Whatever. Dana Rohrabacher, she's going to win, Republican. Dana Rohrabacher's going to win easily. His opponent got nowhere near him. He practically got twice as many votes, 38,000 to 21,000. Colorado 6th, I gave to Democrats. So that's their 8th net gain. So they have 8 so far net gain. Okay. Florida 27, I gave to Maria Salazar. That's a Republican. But I gave uncontested. The Republican was not primaried in Iowa 3rd and Illinois 6th. Illinois 12th. That's the Dems' 11th win I gave. I didn't even, for uncontested, I just gave him the win. But Illinois 12th, there, Brian Kelly got more votes, so I gave him the win. Of course, Mike Bost is the incumbent; he could win, but okay. Democrat ran uncontested in Kansas 2nd. Okay, that's 12 wins. I gave Democrats, that's their 12th win. Kansas 3rd, GOP wins 9. That's their 9th win in this little spreadsheet here. Kevin Yoder got 52,000 votes. Sharice Davis got 23,000. Please tell me how Kevin Yoder's not going to win. Why is it even a toss-up? Whatever. Kentucky 6th, I gave Dems another win. That's their 13th win. Okay? Of the 37 that are supposed to be, Maine 2nd, the Republican, I have no idea. He didn't get primaried, so I just gave him a win. Dem 14. Michigan 8. I gave the GOP there. Obviously, Mike Bishop got 75,000 to Slotkin, who got 57,000 people. Michigan 11. I gave it to the Republican, but like I said, I'm like just giving away wins to Democrats. North Carolina 9. I gave that to the Democrats. That's their 15th win. New Jersey 3, MacArthur, Dem win. It was unopposed, but that's the 16th win. New Jersey 7th. It was very close, but I gave it to the Democrats. New Jersey 7th. That's the Democratic 17th win. New Mexico 2nd. It was, Democrat got more. I gave it the 18th win for the Democrat. Okay, now we're sweating. New York Fasano, unopposed. He's the Republican. I just gave it to Democrats because he wasn't primaried. New York 22nd. I just gave it to Democrats. He wasn't primaried. Tenney, 20th win. Ohio 1st District. I gave it to Democrats. Unopposed. No primary. Republican was not primaried. 21 wins. Now, Texas, Culberson, Texas 7. Texas 7. I gave it to Culberson. He got 28,000 to 9,000. 28,000 people showed up to vote for him. 9,000 shows up for Lizzie Fletcher. I gave it to John Culberson. Sessions will beat Allred, and Texas is 32nd. Virginia 2nd. Scott Taylor easily outpaced like 11,000 votes. So GOP 14th win there. Now I gave Dave Bratt. He's going to defeat Spanberger, the former CIA official. Okay. This is the guy who did Eric Cantor in Virginia. But I gave the Democrats the win there. I was as generous as I could be. I mean, as generous as I could be. And then Washington 8. I mean, Dino Rossi is 58,000 people went to show up. Kim Schreier, a Democrat, got 25,000. So that's with everything going their way, 22 out of the 37. With everything going their way, I'm talking everything going their way. 2-1 financial advantage, turnout advantage, those are pretty strong indicators. Stephen Haslam, thank you. I agree. Stephen Haslam, thank you. I do agree with that. Yes. I agree. So you have to turn out. We all have to vote. I apologize. I'm so into it, but I have to just go ahead and explain why I'm constantly saying what I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you soon. Have a great, great evening. Is that Larry Bird next to Church? It's George Orwell. Thank you so much, everyone. Stephen Haslam, thank you. I agree. God bless. I'll see you soon. Hit subscribe to my super chat. Thank you, Rhonda, Iowa girl, Stephen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Have a great, great evening. Thank you so much, everyone.